Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. मेरा नाम वाणी है and in this episode I want to take you through my Delhi book haul. I went to Delhi sometime in December and I got a lot of books. But before I get into this video, I want to tell you that we've recently launched a new channel, Chalchitra Clips, and the link will be in the description box below. Go subscribe to it. We're going to regularly post, almost every second day, post short videos of episodes and compilations of different recommendations on that channel, so do check it out. Now, coming to the Delhi book haul, I went to Delhi in December. We did a very interesting meet and greet also. It was a BYOB session, bring your own book, and it was extremely nice and I look forward to hosting more of those. Now, I went to the Daryaganj book market as well, which I think opens on Sunday. I'm not sure about the timings, but do check it out. You'll get some amazing finds. And I love this bookstore in Khan Market, Fakir Chand and Sons, and I went there mostly because of the bookmarks also that they give out, but I'll get into the book haul right away. So I got these books from Fakir Chand and Sons. The first one is Pablo Neruda. I read his If You Forget Me, and ever since then I found a new respect and love for Pablo Neruda. So I got his selected poems and I wanted to buy a complete collection of his poetry, but I couldn't find any. I found it on Amazon and I think I'll be getting it in a few days. So there will be a Thursday stream about that one also. Now, this one is Ted Hughes' The Thought Fox. I read Grief is a Thing with Feathers. I love that book and I really wanted to read his Crow, but I couldn't find Crow anywhere. And this was the only book that I could find. It's actually a collected animal poems. The next book that I got from Fakir Chand and Sons was poetry of Bahadur Shah Zafar. Now, I knew of Bahadur Shah Zafar because of our history books and I knew he was a poet and I'd read a couple of things he'd written as well. But it wasn't until this poem that you read in Agha Shahid Ali's The Whale Suite, after seeing King Lear, and there he kind of does the English translation of this particular piece where he says, Kitna badnaseeb Zafar, dafne ke liye do gaz zameen bhi na mili kuए yaar mein. I must have missed out a few words here and there. But overall, these were the lines he had used, and I got very interested in poetry of Bahadur Shah Zafar, and I came across this book and I was like, hey, I need to get this. The next book that I got from Fakir Chand and Sons is this beautiful book, Diwan-e-Ghalib. But this is actually a new translation and I've just found this new love for translation of Urdu poetry because not every translation is good. I'm yet to pick this up, but from some of the poems that I read and the translations, it seems to be a good translated piece. So I got a lot of classics from Daryaganj book market. For example, I found this Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. It's absolutely beautiful piece. And then there was The Prisoner of Zenda, which is by Anthony Hope. Now, I don't think I've heard a lot about this book, but there was this one particular person that had recommended this book to me. This young man just finds himself suddenly in the midst of royal turmoil, and he's a regular guy, but his red hair and his resemblance bears so much to the ruling monarchy. There must be some secret to uncover. So this is a book about that, The Prisoner of Zenda. It's by Anthony Hope and it's a lovely cover again. Also, there's this Adventures of Tom Sawyer. So I have a very interesting story about it. I was once celebrating my birthday and my mother had thrown out a small party for friends and family, and I got a lot of books gifted to me on that birthday, and all of them except one were Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And since then, I've made it a point to collect more and more of these books so that eventually when I'm old, my library still has a lot of Adventures of Tom Sawyer that I can give out to kids. And it's one of my favorite children's classics. The next find was Andersen's Fairy Tales. This book actually contains some of the most famous stories we know now: The Ugly Duckling, Little Red Riding Hood, The Mermaid, and so on. The next book is I, Claudius, and as the book's cover says, it's now a BBC TV series also. I did not know until I bought this that it is one of the best or one of the most acclaimed historical pieces ever written. Okay, the next one is something that I got only because of the cover. It's the Odyssey by Homer. This is a terrible translation, but a wonderful cover. And I tried reading it And I think there are better translations that have come out now. But it's still a great epic with a great cover. The next book is actually a collection of satires and epistles by Horace and Perseus. And their epistles and satires mostly deal with the life on court, philosophy of life, and a lot of contemporary letters as well. The next book is Black Dogs by Ian McQueen. It's set in 1946. A young couple is on their honeymoon and they find themselves in the midst of something that's so dark and terrifying that it alters their lives forever. The next book is the compilation of the short stories of Ernest Hemingway. And if I were to recommend you something, it would be a very short story. The next one is Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. I never owned a Jungle Book. I mean, I did have a copy of Jungle Book, but my sibling tore it into two when he was a little child. So I found this copy this time and I got it home. Now, coming back to the hardcovers that I got, there are quite a few. One of them is here that I've already put inside. So I'll start with that one. It's called Political Hacks. And it's actually a very nice guide to remember some important theories related to politics. And they're very interesting. So it deals with capitalism, Federalist Papers, church and state, art of war, and so on. I bought it because I thought it'll be nice to understand these terms, and also it'll be a great coffee table book. The next book is Maps That Changed the World. I read Prisoners of Geography, and I think that's a very interesting book. Maps That Changed the World is also about the different maps that changed the way maps exist and how we've come to look at them and learn from them. So it's a very interesting book. It also has some of the most famous maps, from tunnels and dungeons to underground networks and so on. And the next book is Agatha Christie's Midwinter Murder, which is actually a collection of short stories set during the winter period. So it's the perfect time to read this book. The next book that I got was Agatha Christie's Real Crime Case book. So this collection actually deals with some of the shocking real murders that were behind some of Agatha Christie's most famous books. The next two books actually deal with wine. This is Illustrated Guide to Wine, and this is a book of wine. So it deals with wineries, how to make your own wine, details about different types of wines, how to drink them, and so on. The next book that I got was Vietnam War. This is an illustrated guide to the whole conflict that was in Southeast Asia, and it actually covers battle by battle analysis, maps, diagrams, all the possible photographs you can find of the conflict that was happening in Vietnam for more than 30 years. Some of it is horrifying because nothing is hidden here, but this is one book that I would recommend to everyone. If you can find it, go get your hands on it. The last book that I got from the Daryaganj Book Market, and it has to be my most favorite find, is Musicians in Camera. Now, this is a book by A.M. Foster where he points out how people look the most beautiful when they don't realize someone is looking and they're doing what they're passionate about. And here you will find pictures of musicians when they're performing on stage, and it's just them in the moment. And I just absolutely love this book. There's also text against most of them, but I think photographs make for the entire book. So these were all the books that I got for myself from the Delhi trip. Let me know if you would like to see more book hauls, and let me know what your favorite find was, and comment it down below. We've launched a new channel also, guys. Do subscribe to it, Chalchitra Clips. The link is in the description below. And also, before I leave, I want to tell you that we've picked up The Lonely City for the month of January in A Book a Month with Vaani. So do pick it up. Again, the link will be in the description box. If you like what we do, if you like the recommendations we bring to you, do consider supporting us. Become a member of our YouTube community. Become a patron. We have carefully divided our patrons into 3 different categories: Goodfellas, Gladiators, Godfathers. Godfathers are at the top. And each category comes with its own perks. So do consider supporting us if you like our work. This would really help us and would really encourage us. And I will be back with another recommendation for you in my next episode. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite find.